We're going to start the Automata Box building. It's really manufacturing a box 3.9, but we will eventually be using this box later on. So I'm going to click Projects, and I'm going to pick a new one, and I'm going to do New Single User, and then you give it a name. And for us, Automata makes sense. Or Automata, depending on how you want to pronounce it, and figure out where you want to put it. You should have yours placed in a logical place for you. For me, I'm going to put it in downloads because I typically end up deleting a lot of stuff from my downloads so I don't clog up my computer. So I'm going to put it right in here. So that's going to be my location. So you can see the path downloads Automata. So I created a brand new folder, and I'm going to hit finish, and done. And you can see the check mark that this is a project I'll be working on. So I'm going to pick new, and let's start by making the bottom and top. So at this point, I'm going to do standard IPT. And there's a couple ways to do it. I can do it with primitives, or I can do it with a sketching tool. You decide how you want to best teach your students. I'll do an example of each. And I'm going to do a rectangle. And in this rectangle, I know that for this case, I know the width of this is equal to 5. So that's going to be the width. And then I'm going to hit tab, and the depth of this is equal to 4. And then I'm going to extrude it, so I'm going to press E for the shortcut, and it's 0.25 thick. And these numbers may be different depending on what type of material you purchase or use, or whether you use the kits that come from Project Lead the Way. I'm going to click OK. And I'll hit the home key, and I have that part. So now it's time to save that. I'm going to go save, and I'm going to call this bottom. Now another trick what I'm going to do here is go to File, Save As, and I'm going to call this top. Now, it is the exact same dimensions, however, I know later on I'm going to be putting holes in the top and not in the bottom. So this allows me to get the top and bottom taken care of. So now I have the top and bottom done. The next thing I'm going to do is I want to do the sides. So I'm going to go ahead and go to File and New. For some reason it's not playing today. Here we go. And standard IPT. And this time if I use the box primitive and click on box and then tell it what direction I want to go, and I start here in the middle, it's the same process. So I'm going to do the sides, and they're 4 by 4. So the side is going to be a height equals 4, and in this one the depth is going to also equal 4, so I'm going to type in depth equals 4 and extrude it, and defaults to extrude, and I'm going to do 0.25 again, and I want to go both directions. I like keeping my all my planes dead center. So hit our home key, and we'll hit save, and that is sides, and click save. So now I have the top, the bottom, and the sides done. Next thing I want to do is I need to do the back, which is the next part. So I'm going to go to File, New, standard IPT, and I'm going to start a new sketch, and I'm going to do a rectangle. I'm keeping everything centered on my origins and so forth. So this one, the width is equal to 4.5, and the height, and I could just go ahead and type in 4 here too, but the advantage of it, and once I hit E for extrude, and we'll type 0.25, and we'll go both directions. I like it symmetrical that way again. Hit the home. The neat thing about it is when I go to manage functions, it's going to have all the dimensions in here. So I didn't put in the height here, but I could go back later on and put it in as a parameter. I think that makes it a little easier to understand for the students particularly. So I'm going to hit done, and that takes care of making all the parts of the box.